Probably the hardest position I would say on this team to kind of quantify is the receiver position, right? Last year, Cooper Kupp was a top 5 lock at the receiver position to go in drafts, right? Fantasy drafts. He was a top 5 receiver. We knew what to expect with Cooper Kupp. He had got injured the year before. The year before that, he was great. We're like, okay, Cooper Kupp should be back this year. They drafted Puka Nacua in the 5th round. And it's going to be hard to get, like, drafts are going to be hard this year because everybody's going to go to Puka Nacua after a record-setting season. Puka Nacua was the wide receiver 4 last year, had 105 catches, 1,486 yards, almost 1,500 yards in a rookie year, and 6 TDs in a rookie. I mean, he set some records last season. And this is for a guy that was a 5th-round pick behind Cooper Kupp. He really got his opportunity early on when Cooper Kupp was out for the first few weeks. It was like, all right, Puka Nacua show. It happened, and he played well throughout the entire season. So the biggest question when it comes to Puka Nacua is, what are we expecting this year? Is he the outright one in this offense, and Cooper Kupp plays a complementary role? And I think the major question we're all kind of just assuming right now is Puka Nacua the one on this team? Is he the leading receiver on this team? He was last year and had a great year. I'm not taking anything away from Puka Nacua. But Cooper Kupp is another year older. Cooper Kupp has also shown a really good chemistry. He's had really good chemistry with Matthew Stafford. I'm sure it'll be somewhat dialed back. But what I'm expecting from Nacua and from Kupp is that we have games where they both look like they're the number 1 receiver. It'll be matchup dependent. 1A, 1B. I think you got to put Puka Nacua ahead because of what he did last year. Especially, he carried this offense at times throughout the year. And even in the playoff game, it was apparent that he was probably going to be the lead dog heading into this year. So Puka Nacua would still be the 1A, but I don't think the disparity is so much. I don't. I think that Puka Nacua is the 1, and I think Cooper Kupp is still right there. Nacua is going to be a little overdrafted because he's going in the top 10 of receivers right now. Cooper Kupp's going outside the top 20, which makes him a little bit more of a value. Remember, we tend to disvalue some of the older, injury-prone. It's a little bit more risky with Cooper Kupp, but if he plays 15 games, you're getting a major reward. When he played, Cooper Kupp last year in an injury-plagued season finishes the wide receiver 40. Now, he only played in 12 games. So you add another 5 to that, and we know Cooper Kupp can go for 100 or a touchdown damn near any game he plays. I mean, to end the season last year, he had 5 double-digit fantasy points in those games. 5 straight games with double-digit fantasy points. The last 5 games of the year. It's not crazy to think that Cooper Kupp was just dealing with an injury. He was out the first 4 games, came back, re-injured himself, and it was like we never really saw Cooper Kupp at full speed until the end of the season. So my prognosis for both of these receivers. Here's how I think about Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. How do you draft them? Like, where do you draft these guys? Puka Nacua should be a back end to high end wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Back end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. And I think Cooper Kupp right now is probably being valued as a high end wide receiver 3. He needs to be drafted into the wide receiver 2 conversation. That's what I think. You get the upside, you take the risk with him being older. He's been injury prone the last 2 years. You bake that in because we could still, any given week, Cooper Kupp could be 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 catches. We know that. And in PPR leagues, you know how valuable those catches are. So Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, you have to know those are the only 2 guys really that's a factor on this team. And if they're both healthy, which we have to assume coming into the year, we have to assume health, both of them will be productive this year. Both of them. And they're both going to have times where they look like they're the guy. All right. So I think Nacua, put him up there. Kupp is going to be the